There's just nothing can be certain with him. He's going to test you to make sure that you're not certain on anything. Like even your game, like no matter what it is. So it's just amazing to talk to him because he will tweak your mind, your beliefs, your consciousness, all the things that we talked about this weekend and make you aware of how programmed you are. And I'm so honored that he agreed to come out here again and is so supportful of the goddesses. So help welcome up Rene Hamilton. I can't even introduce him because he does so many things that I don't even know everything he does. So he can tell you if he chooses.
Thank you so much. And nice to be here. And I trust you all had an amazing weekend so far. How's it been? Yeah, you gotta give it up for Rene putting this together and all the volunteers doing this help because it's something that we really need in this time and this day and time. And there's a lot of stresses and whatnot in our lives that really put a damper on enjoying life, just day-to-day things, you know. It's interesting how we're born and we're born without an instruction manual, you know. It's not like a VCR where you can open it up and have a warranty, you can send it back if you don't like it or whatever, you know. You pretty much have to freestyle it, so to speak, just kind of learn on your own how life works and engineer your way to happiness, you know. And what does that mean? What does happiness mean? You know, we look at magazine covers and we see, you know, J-Lo dating Mark Anthony or whatever, and they got a Maserati or Bentley, whatever it is, and you know, they're living a high life, and we think, oh, you know, they're happy, they're good looking, they're happy, they got money and whatnot, and that's just been ingrained in our head. We sort of take examples from whatever we see around us, and we have friends and family, and you know, whether it be priests or pastors or people who mentor us and give us their versions of happiness, and then the media and radio and TV, and everyone's just trying to engineer their own happiness, but not a lot of people are very successful for whatever reason. And I'll get into some of those reasons in just a little bit here as to why we're not as happy as we want to be. And to me, that's the purpose of life, is to be happy, to enjoy creation, to be like a little child and sit in a sandbox and play for 10 hours with the sand and a little Barbie doll or whatever it is. You know, their state of mind, their state of consciousness is joy. You know, most of us, I can't speak for everyone, have experienced that at one point or another, especially when we're little children. And as we get older, that seems to dissipate, and what we call the real world sets in, reality sets in. You know, gotta have responsibilities and all these sorts of things, and we're taught how to take responsibility in varying degrees depending on who raises us, how to live, how to survive, and what survival means, and who to trust and who not to trust. Step in this cord here. So, we pretty much copy people who we see. You know, we're little babies, we see people, big people all around, and it seems like the world was here before we got here, and we've been missing out on all the action and, you know, what's going on, and there's people running businesses and cars in the street, and we're just little kids trying to copy our adults and copy people and sort of mimic them because they must know better because they've been here longer, and that, at least that's what we think. So we listen to what they say, and we build our belief system and life around what other people say and what we read and what we hear on TV and whatnot. And fortunately, a lot of people are at a point where they pretty much accept everything they hear as truth. Now, what if, the blind are leading the blind? Then you're caught in a situation in which you're pretty much just repeating. You're a repeater. You just repeat what you've been told, what you've been taught, without having any critical thinking or imagination to think outside that realm. There's 3 different types of people. There's more, but 3 basic types. There are people who make things happen. There are people who watch what happens, and there are people who wondered what happened. I don't know where each of you is. You might want to ponder that. Maybe you're a mixture of each. Maybe you're more polarized to one side or another. Most of us would like to make things happen. Most of us have been told it's really hard to make things happen. And we've been told we have to go to college, we have to get a degree, and you got to work hard for your money, and all these different things. That's just an idea. That's one way to go about it. That's a hard way to go about it. And it seems we're a culture that is bent on suffering. In order to earn something, you gotta put your blood, sweat, and tears into it. No pain, no gain. So we voluntarily suffer through hardships in order to prove to ourselves that we've earned whatever it may be: love, money, relationships, the perfect body, whatever it is. We feel we have to earn it. We feel it's not given to us already, that we're born in a substandard state and we have to achieve this goal by working hard at it and by suffering and struggling. Yet it doesn't have to be that way. That's one way of operating, I suppose. If that's what you want, that's what you want, I mean. There are other ways to go about it. I'm going to entitle this, primarily the theme of this is going to be called To Be or To Not. To be or not to be. And I'm referring to what you are. People asking me who I am. It's not really who I am, because what is who? Who is an identification, but what am I? And I think that's where we are at right now. We're in a world where billions of people have no idea what they are. Literally, they just, a bird knows it's a bird. Doesn't know it's a bird the way we see it. It knows what it is. Same with the dog, same with all these other animals. They're just doing their thing, and there's no issue. However, why do we have issues? Why do we walk around and wonder what we should do and how to hook up with this guy, or when am I going to get married, or just a lot of issues of how life is. We're so confused. And to be or not to be, a lot of people, particularly in a new age movement, light worker movement, think you have to ascend. You have to go through a process of ascension or to reach enlightenment of some sort. You have to do something. You have to meditate. You have to read books. You have to do processes. There's a structure, a sort of a plan. And I see things differently. I see that every day, every moment, we have choices. We have choices to be or not to be. And what I mean by that is, we know within ourselves that on some level, that every decision we make, whether we're eating a chocolate bar or going for a bike ride or going to a movie, or whatever it is, talking to someone, we have the choice to be ourselves and be honest with ourselves, or not. Pretending, like for example, I had an issue with paying a lot of money for things, and I was embarrassed that I actually spent that much money. So my mother would, I'd have a new pair of jeans, my mother would ask me, well, those are nice jeans, how much do they cost? And I paid $120, but I'm like, oh, $60. You know, I just was kind of embarrassed that I spent $120 on jeans, you know, but that was the decision I made, to just downplay it, like, I don't know, pretending to be more thrifty per se, or whatever it may be, you know, and it's not a big deal, it's not a major issue, you know. Some issues are a little bigger that we tell little white lies about, just little weird things, you know, and it's these little things that we're not accepting about ourselves. Like, why would I lie about how much I paid for a pair of jeans? What am I not facing? Why is there a fear? What am I trying to project out there? You know, and it's these little things that add up. You know, if I was to hold a glass of water in my hand, you know, that little tiny one there for 5 minutes, that's no problem. Well, if I hold it for an hour, well, it's starting to get to be a problem. You know, hold it there for all day, your arm is pretty much going to be, you have to go to the hospital and get, you know, your arm massaged back to health or something. So these little things just add up, just build up and build up. There are 5 passions of the mind, 5 passions that rule humanity. I would suggest you write this down. It is these 5 passions of the mind that dictate over 90% of people's motivations on this planet. First passion, in no particular order, is anger. In any form, anger, frustration. Second one is vanity. And vanity, what I mean by vanity is feeling sorry for someone. By feeling sorry for someone, and I don't mean this in a compassionate sense, I mean thinking you're above them and thinking, oh, poor them. Okay? You think you're in a higher position of understanding or status, whatever it may be. It could be you're narcissistic, you're looking in the mirror every day, yeah, man, check out my sideburns, man, yeah, you know, whatever it is. Vanity could be a superiority complex, mentally, physically, emotionally. Any sort of thought that puts you in a position that is elevated amongst the masses per se. Greed. Greed is a third one. Okay. Lust. That doesn't necessarily mean lust for the flesh. It could be gambling. It could be drugs. It could be gorging on food every day. Whatever. And last but not least, and which is really important, is undue or over emotional attachment. It is these things that rule humanity. And by monitoring these motivations in yourself, you can start to see how these rule everyone else. How much time do we spend a day thinking about love? How much time do you spend a day thinking about love? Seriously. Like loving life, loving your car, loving an hour a day? That's a lot. Seriously? An hour? You're way ahead of me.
Somebody else that you need to ask that.
How about yourself?
Probably maybe 5 minutes.
5 minutes a day?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe 5 minutes. You know, our life is interesting because I hear you. Our very thoughts project atoms into the universe. So think of, that was about 1999, I had a realization. I was at a rave. I used to be a big raver back in the day. And one of my spiritual masters came to me in the middle of a rave, which just totally just shocked me beyond belief. And revealed certain things to me. And what I had realized is I was literally standing there, and certain things were said to me which unlocked certain things in my consciousness. And I would liken it to gears shifting and turning in my head. Literally, I felt like, and my whole vision and consciousness changed. And what I saw is that I had no body. I was just a ball of nothingness. And I saw what looked like trillions of sheets of paper, but of reality, flying around my nothingness to give the appearance of physical reality. So almost like when back when you're a little kid, you drew on the corner of a piece of paper, a little stick man running or riding a bike, and you flip the pages and it looks like he's riding. That's the same sort of thing. However, there's trillions. I couldn't even count the amount of these thin paper sheets of reality, like flying over me, like wrapping around me. And what I had noticed, what I had come to understand, is that your thoughts you basically are pure consciousness, which is pure awakeness. No gender, no name, just awakeness. And I saw the atoms wrapping around me. As I was thinking on the fly, I was seeing the atoms of what I was thinking wrap around me. It came to my understanding that what we're thinking, our thoughts are projecting atoms of space particle, quantum particles, and wrapping around you to create the illusion of reality. Now, what that means is, from my perspective, is what you're thinking, you're manifesting. Literally, I don't mean figuratively. I don't mean that you're here on earth and things are already here and then you can manifest within that. No. I literally mean when you go outside and look at the sun, or stand on the ground, or breathe air, your mind is projecting the sun. The sun does not exist outside of you. Literally, your mind is powering the universe as you know it. And it's a hard pill to swallow because it seems like it's operating independent of you. I can assure you it's not operating independent of you. Now, everything we're looking at right now is a product of our imagination, a product of our thought. See, thoughts and matter are the same thing. They're just operating on different speeds of density. So when I think of thought, it's there, but it's at a higher rate of vibration or speed. The atoms are moving so fast, your mind cannot see it, but it's right there. That's why when you go to a psychic and they can see things floating around you or whatnot, you know, and they say, well, this is going to happen and this is going to happen, and 6 months later, sure enough, it happens. You're like, how in the hell? What the hell? How did they know that 6 months ago? They must be seeing into the future. Well, in fact, they're seeing into the now, because your thoughts manifest instantaneously. In fact, what you're living right now It's probably 2 to 3 months ago. I know that sounds weird. You're like, what? Okay. On the realm of imagination, things happen instantly. And the vibration of imagination is beyond comprehension. It's instantaneous. It's beyond instantaneous. Okay? That vibration must slow down and pass through stages. Okay? It goes from a level of soul plane, which is what you are. You are soul. And it passes, it slowly lowers its vibration to the mental plane, okay, which is where your mind is, thoughts, concepts, ideas, mathematics. Then it must go through the realm of what's what I call the causal plane, which is your motivation, your seed body, your memory body. Then it must pass down its lower vibration to your emotional body. Okay, that's where usually a lot of your dreams at night go. That's when you feel waves of happiness or sadness or whatever, your emotional body. And then it comes down to the physical realm. So there's in linear terms, there is a time difference between when you're thinking something and when it happens. And typically it's about 2 to 3 months for the average person. So time seems to be picking up now, but if I have time, I'll explain that a little later. So what I'm saying is a person who is psychic or on a certain level or clairvoyant is seeing things in now time, and we're seeing things late. So right now we're seeing things late. In fact, if I pick this up and put this down, it is a proven fact that before you've even perceived yourself picking up and putting it down, it was already done. Okay? So, what does that mean? If things are already done before you did them, or before you thought you did them, then are you in control of what you're doing? What do you think? No?
Yes. Still a choice. Yes.
Is it a choice? Do you know where your thoughts are coming from? Do you know where your thoughts are coming from? Do you know where your thoughts are coming from? Sometimes. Well, if we don't know where our thoughts are coming from, then are we in control of those thoughts? Are we making the choice? Or is the thought making the choice? And where's the thought coming from? Subconscious. That's one theory. Well, what programs the subconscious? What runs the subconscious? Belief systems. Could be our higher self is giving you thought. Could be something else is giving you thought. Could be technology giving you thoughts. Like there's radio stations blasting information and cell phones, and maybe you're picking up on some signals or something. So, point being is that we do have a choice to be or not to be. And what I mean by that is there's 4 laws of the universe. I'll tell you what they are right now, from my perspective. And to be or not to be is based on that. Okay? The first law is you exist. You are love. And the Creator loves you. The prime source creator. Let me know if you want me to repeat that.
Yeah, please.
Yes. You exist. You are love. And the Creator loves you. What's that? No, that was one. That was the first law. Yeah, just one line. Good. Okay. The second one is all is one and one is all. All is one and one is all. Third law is everything you think, feel, and do comes back to you. Everything you feel, think, and do comes back to you. Now the fourth law, which is my favorite, is everything changes except the first three laws. Everything changes except the first three laws. Now many of us have heard of karma. How would you describe karma? Or do you have any feedback on karma? Cause and effect?
Number 3.
What do you think about your ring about? What goes around comes around? Reboot yourself. If I was to slap Marco in the head over there, okay, now think about these 4 laws. If I was to slap Marco in the head, what have I just done? Slapped myself in the head. So you can sum up these 4 laws into a term called the law of one. Okay? The law of one. And who makes the law? You make the law. What does that mean? That means that, well, you decide. You decide how you want to be. Do you want to be yourself? Do you want to be at one with everything? And if you are at one with everything, then you ought to start conducting yourself in that way. And if you choose to not be yourself, okay, which would be believing the lie that we're actually all separate, then you could be that too. However, the law of one is going to show you yourself back to you so you can correct yourself. And that is what people call negative karma. But it's actually, there is no negative karma. In fact, there is no karma, because you're doing it yourself, so there's no karma. There's karma in the sense of, well, I'm receiving myself back. Yeah, but it's not karma, it's yourself. You can call it whatever you want to call it, but it's you. See, the great lie of the ego is that you and I are separate, that your kids are your kids, and that my mother is my mother. No, it's all you. Okay? Just like this whole field out here, you know, how many blades of grass are out there? Maybe 50 trillion or something? Are they all separate blades of grass? Or is it one big lawn? Right? It's one thing. The universe, the prime creator is so creative, it created everything to look different. It created itself in all these different forms and shapes. Even down to the molecule, to molecular, atomic level, it's that creative. However, it's all the same thing. Yeah, the universe works in funny ways. I went to a funeral just a little while ago here, a few months ago. My friend's father passed on to a different level of reality. And I sat down in a church. There must have been about 150 people there. And it was full, like almost 90% full. Each pew was full of people. So I went and I sat down. And it was a Catholic church, and they're giving a sermon. Well, midway through, the priest asked everyone to come up to take the bread of life, or whatever it's called. Drink some goodies and eat some goodies. And everyone got up. Everyone got up to go and do that, except my whole row. My whole row did not get up. That's really interesting, that the universe placed us all there. Yeah. Just like the universe put you all here. And you thought you had a choice. You thought you had a choice to come here today or this weekend. I can assure you, you did not have a choice. I can assure you of that. See, everything that you think you're doing and that you think is your choice is done automatically. The only choice you have is to be or not to be in any moment. Other than that, everything is on auto run. It's all mathematical calculation based on the law of one. Okay? I don't care what it is. I don't care if you think you're gonna go bowling today, you didn't make that choice. The law of one made that choice, whether you're aware of it or not. Okay? Your ego likes to think it's doing things. I can control this. I can control my happiness. I can engineer my happiness. I can do this and that. No, that's a trick, because before you've already done it, it was already done. So how could you control anything? Could you have controlled meeting Christine? No, it just happened. You know, when you're walking around a corner in downtown and you turn the corner and you bump into someone and the papers go on the ground. Could you have prevented that? No. Okay? Try and stop yourself breathing for 5 minutes. See how successful you are at that? I guarantee you can't do it. Guarantee it. So, the universe puts you into certain places because you're making a choice to be or not to be. And by being or not to being, you're choosing to live in truth or lies. Truth or illusion. Every minute, every moment, I don't care what you think you have a choice over, that's the only choice you have. There's no middle ground. None. There's no cause and effect. There's no cause and effect on the physical reality. Why? Because all things start in the realm of imagination. Someone had to imagine that table, imagine this building, imagine the city of Edmonton, imagine someone had to imagine the grass for it to be here. Not necessarily us, something did. So everything is a product of imagination. And imagination is where things start and filters down to the physical realm. So if a car smashes a car in front of you, did the guy who hit the other guy cause it? No. Nothing caused anything on the physical realm because it happened up there and is filtering down. You cannot blame anyone for anything because it didn't happen here. What you think is happening is not happening. You're observing things and making judgments off it based off of a faulty program that you call cause and effect. It's pretty fascinating when you start to realize that everything around you is on auto run, and the only choice you have is to be yourself or not be yourself. It actually relieves you from a lot of stress and having to think and having to engineer things. Now you don't have to engineer things. You just be yourself and things will magically happen. Like, for example, I was watching a documentary a few days ago on a tsunami making a ship wave back and forth. And then I got a phone call from my mother. She said, check your email. So I checked my email, and as I'm checking my email, I'm watching this documentary. And in the email is a little video clip, and I open it up, and it's a animation of it, or not, it's another real footage of one of the ships in Indonesia in Japan, the tsunami, shipping rocking back and forth. And as I looked at them, they were both rocking back and forth at the same time, 2 different videos. I was like, wow, that's just insane. So synchronicities start to happen when you start to be yourself. I'll tell you another thing, that reality blends itself into other realities seamlessly. Meaning, there's another version of you doing something completely different at all given times, and I mean unlimited amount of things. And whatever you choose, whatever choices you make, blend you seamlessly into other realities, possibly into other earths or dimensions where there's not disasters happening. And there are some people who are making decisions that are blending them into versions of Earth, planet Earth, where there are disasters happening because they've attracted those realities into their personal sphere. So I will tell you that magic will start to happen when you start to be yourself. And real magic. Every day of my life is magic. I can't even explain it. People who hang out with me are just like, Rene, this is insane. And I'm not saying I'm better or anything. I'm just living a different reality. A reality in which I'm choosing more and more and more to be rather than not to be. And when you start making these choices, immediately things will start to change in your life. You must get rid of all your petty thoughts. Any thought that contradicts the law of one, you must filter out of your consciousness. And it's as simple as that. You don't have to meditate. You don't have to do yoga or stand on your head and bend your back with your positions. Trust me. You can. And it works for some people, but you don't have to. You know, we weren't born to perform. We were born to be. I want to let you know that everything you thought before, even your name, even the fact that you're a human being, none of that is relevant, or even matters, or even is true. Now I'm going to say one quick little blurb here about truth. Okay? And I'll wrap up right away here. Truth is eternal. Okay? Truth is eternal. Truth never changes. That's why it is truth, because it never changes. It's always truth. Okay? It's eternal, it never changes. Now, based on what I just said, okay? I'm waving this back and forth. Okay? What's happening? Change? Okay? Going from here to here to here. That's change, right? My voice is changing. Sound? So, is this true? Is this truth? No. Can't be truth. It's changing. How could... So all of reality, as you know it, is not truth. It's exchanging. You're looking at falseness. You're looking at the fraud. Your mind is programmed the fraud. You're looking at it because things are changing. It's not truth. Truth never changes. Think of that. Really think about that. Okay? Truth is a knowing inside you that never changes. It's unshakable. It's not a belief. It's unshakable. It never changes. Okay? Just like you are eternal. So is the truth. And you are truth. So, that being said, what if you could propel your thoughts billions of times more powerful than they normally are right now? What would happen? Synchronicity? Things would start manifesting really quick? Well, it's really important. The more powerful you become, the more aware you become, to manage your thoughts, to control your thoughts, to purify your thoughts, because the more responsibility you have. If I was to get really mad at someone, I don't know what would happen to them. Seriously. It'd be scary to think. Because I know my thoughts are very, very powerful. And it could bring scary realities into other people's lives, into my life. Or other people, actually. This is me. Just like there's only you. So, the more aware you become, the more responsible you must be with the way you think and the way you operate. As long as you keep your mind on those 4 laws, just lock it into your mind, just lock it there. And always come back to that. You will save yourself from yourself. Okay? I'm going to wrap up here right away. I want to let you know that for any of you who are really interested in taking your manifestations to a higher level, I've developed a device that amplifies your thoughts billions of times more powerful into the matrix. Only positive thoughts. And literally, things start to happen in your life very rapidly. Extremely rapidly. To a point where it may even be scary. However, if your intentions are there and pure, it's an amazing tool to start to have things happen in your life that were sort of a stumbling block. Okay? I won't say much more than that. You can come visit me on my table. And thank you so much for being here. I love you all so dearly. And my love is always with you.